There's a quiet revolution happening in offices, factories, and coffee shops across America. No headlines, no strikes, no chaos, just silence. Because this time, the jobs aren't being shipped overseas. They're being replaced by algorithms. Artificial intelligence, once the shiny promise of progress, is now starting to reshape the American workforce in ways that are both fascinating and frightening. And the first to feel the hit? Entry-level workers, the interns, the analysts, the assistants, the new grads who just stepped into the professional world. According to new labor data and corporate reports, companies across tech, finance, law, and media are quietly reducing hiring at the bottom, not through layoffs, but through automation by omission. In other words, they're not firing people, they're just not hiring them anymore. And the implications could change the entire structure of the U.S. economy. Let's unpack what's really happening here, and why it's much bigger than just AI taking jobs. First, the data tells a chilling story. Entry-level job postings in the U.S. have dropped by more than 35% compared to pre-AI boom levels. At the same time, corporate spending on automation tools, from customer service bots to generative AI platforms, has surged by over 400% in just 2 years. Companies are realizing they can automate tasks once handled by junior staff, writing reports, screening resumes, building presentations, answering emails, even coding. What used to be starter work, the kind that helped young professionals learn the ropes, is now being done by machines that never need sleep, benefits, or training. And while that's great for efficiency, it's devastating for opportunity. Because entry-level jobs aren't just jobs. They're the training ground for the next generation of managers, creators, and entrepreneurs. Without them, an entire ladder of upward mobility could collapse. Take the legal industry. Top firms are using AI to draft contracts, summarize cases, and even analyze legal precedents. Tasks once assigned to paralegals and junior associates are now completed in minutes by AI tools. In finance, major banks are cutting analyst teams, relying instead on AI to generate forecasts and monitor risk in real time. In journalism, AI content engines can write articles faster than any intern or assistant editor. And they don't ask for bylines. In customer service, chatbots are replacing call centers entirely. And in marketing, AI tools are creating full campaigns, writing copy, designing images, even generating voiceovers, without a single human in the loop. Now, some will say, that's just progress. It's happened before. And yes, every wave of technology has displaced jobs before creating new ones. But here's the difference this time. The new jobs require entirely different skills. Skills that can't be learned through traditional entry-level experience because those roles no longer exist. In other words, the bridge between school and career is crumbling. And that's not just a problem for workers, it's a problem for business itself. Because when companies remove the bottom rungs of the ladder, they remove their own pipeline of future talent. How do you get experienced managers if no one gets to start as a junior? How do you grow leadership when no one gets a chance to learn? We're creating an economy that runs perfectly on paper, but has no human depth. And this isn't theoretical anymore. Look at what's happening inside major corporations. A growing number of companies are introducing AI-first departments, where instead of hiring entry-level staff, they build internal teams around AI systems. One supervisor oversees a suite of automation tools that handle what used to be a team of 5 or 10 people. The result? A new type of workforce, smaller, faster, cheaper, and lonelier. Because while AI can replicate tasks, it can't replicate mentorship. It can't teach intuition. It can't spark creativity through human collaboration. That's what businesses are starting to realize. Too late in some cases. One Fortune 500 executive recently admitted in a private briefing that his company's efficiency drive went too far. After cutting junior staff and automating entire departments, productivity initially skyrocketed, then plateaued. Why? Because there was no one left to innovate, no one to question the system. That's the paradox of AI-driven efficiency. The more perfect it becomes, the less room there is for human growth. But here's the other side of this story. And it's not all doom. Because for every job AI replaces, it's also creating new ones. Roles that didn't exist 5 years ago. Prompt engineers, AI ethicists, data curators, automation strategists, AI trainers. The challenge is speed. AI is evolving faster than education. And if schools, companies, and policymakers can't bridge that gap, millions of workers will be left behind. Not because they're lazy, but because they were trained for a world that vanished overnight. So what's the path forward? For workers, it means rethinking what career growth looks like. The safest jobs aren't the most prestigious ones anymore. They're the most adaptive. The people who thrive in this new era will be those who learn to work with AI, not against it. For businesses, it means balancing automation with investment in human development. The companies that win won't be the ones that replace the most people. They'll be the ones that use AI to elevate people, to take routine off their plates so they can think, lead, and create. And for society, it means asking harder questions. If AI makes work more efficient, who benefits from that efficiency? If productivity doubles but opportunity halves, what happens to the American dream? Because at the end of the day, AI isn't just changing how we work. It's changing who gets to work. And that's why this moment matters. We're not just watching an automation wave. We're witnessing the rewriting of the social contract. One where machines take the jobs that built generations, and humans must find new ways to build themselves. The question is no longer whether AI will replace jobs. It's whether America can replace what those jobs meant. Because if we lose that, if we lose the bridge between ambition and opportunity, then the machines won't have stolen our future. We'll have handed it to them.